Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... Every now and then we get introduced to a project that surprises everyone and takes the community by storm, for better or worse. And by all means, today's video is said project. From what I understand, it had some marketing, obviously, to try and get people involved in the series and such, and then afterwards kind of came out that on the same channel that, again, had relatively almost nobody there, and it does not seem like a person's first rodeo. This is potentially somebody who has already developed quite a few skills, and if they haven't, then they are making the best debut as a gacha tuber that people might expect, according to said people, because of course, I have not seen this yet, and neither, I believe, have the two people I've got here with me today, which means that we're going to see if it actually exceeds all expectations, or if it truly lives up to its name. This is the review of Imperfect, with BB Butter.
Hello.
And someone who forgot to change the username from last review that she was on, Ghosty.
Yay!
With a Luigi hat, huh?
Yeah,
two things already. One, so I have a media list, which is like a to-be-read list, but not limited to just books.
Okay.
And I bounce things up once, whenever it gets casually mentioned. And I gotta tell you, the way that Luigi's Mansion gets bumped up, I didn't expect it to be in this way. This is not the way that I anticipated that to happen.
play the original Luigi's Mansion game. I'm gonna say it's gonna be my hot take, but Luigi's Mansion 3 is not hitting it.
I have played a little bit of Luigi's Mansion in the past, but I'm not like I never got super, and same with Mario. But both of those are on my list.
I think Luigi's Mansion 3 was the last AFMAU stream I ever watched.
Oh. And the other thing is I actually did see Imperfect a while back. Weirdly enough.
A while back? This came out 4 days ago.
A while back. So I do have some Some hot takes about it.
Those were 4 days spent not remembering anything of this series.
4 days I have spent, 4 whole days I have spent ruining my experience.
Yeah.
Craving the day when I can unload my frustrations.
Literally, okay, actually, you say that. That is actually me for Battle of the Labyrinth. I have so many things that I think the Harry Potter, sweet Jesus, Percy Jackson fandom would hate me for.
I mean, yeah. I never know what the general consensus is about like the ranking of the different books. So yeah, there's
Oh no,
can't
it's more
help you with
than
that.
it's more than rank, and I have some spicy takes that I think this book unearths about the series as a whole. I think
Okay, all right then.
that I'm excited to bring to light one day whenever we do
Yeah.
that review.
All right, so also I like this thumbnail for digital thumbnail because it's Gacha obviously, but additional features like the hair goes backwards due to the wind as the blonde lady is running. That's Oh, and this okay, more descriptions. I put the thumbnail. I loaded it up as an image, so here you go. The skirt is also slightly going backwards due to the wind with the lady with the brown hair as a custom mouth. Then I like, look at the mouth, it's still a good touch. That is true. The custom mouth does look very strange, but you know, can see what the person was going for. I suppose.
We could see what they were going for. But
Yeah.
some
Also,
that
yes,
just
lighting.
doesn't hit, which made me interested in this video immediately. When things don't hit, it's either good or awful. And
like
I'm
BGM.
kind of
Is that
enthused
background
to see
music?
which one is which.
Did that one theater Gacha series that we watched a while back ever make a
Theater
new part?
Throwdown?
Yeah,
I haven't been keeping up with it, so it might have done.
I hope so. I want to revisit that one. That was one of the few "it's so good it's bad" Gacha things we reacted on. Sorry, it's so bad it's good things we
I was
watched
about to
on
say, yeah.
here.
All right then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course I've already looked this up in the past.
Yeah. Also, I adore the look of the series. The light pink and light yellow looking both soft and bright is cool. Reminds me of pink lemonade for some reason. I mean, from what you just described there, yeah, I suppose that's true. It seems like I forget exactly where I've seen this stuff before. Kind of like Halo CG music videos, I think.
But no, the last thing they uploaded in general actually was 9 months ago. So.
Okay, and I guess that was not related specifically. Okay.
No.
This guy's just been in my favorites for quite a while since it came out. It's been in mine too, but not my YouTube recommendations, my Discord recommendations from all of you. Because Aiden pointed out to me, Josh I think sent to me as well, and Ghost Kitty. They all seem to really want to check this one out, so this is definitely one of my most requested Gacha reviews in some time. And so, because of that, this feels like it's gonna be a doozy. Let's see.
Here's the thing: even if this is awful, we will be stuck with at least one compliment.
I mean, I highly doubt that it's going to be awful, but what is the one compliment that you are going to say?
That its name was thematic from beginning to end.
I already made that joke, but that's fair. Oh, hello, Snow Dust Dev. I don't recognize you, so I think you're a new person, so welcome to the channel.
Welcome to the pit.
What?
Okay.
What did you just say to me?
Welcome to the pit.
Apparently.
Sorry?
Get in the pit? Get in the pit, BB.
What pit are we talking about here?
Get in the pit.
Like the gulag, the balls with agony from FNAF? I mean, what pit?
The balls. Get the balls, baby.
Oh, the balls.
Get the balls.
I love the balls.
Yeah. In fact, you've actually talked about them before, so yeah. You're a developer for a game just like Gacha Life and Gacha Club. Are you on the Chubimation team? Because if you are, that's amazing. And if you're not, that's also amazing. I don't know. I don't know what the game you're developing.
Like, if not, I would love to know the name of the game you're developing.
Oh yes, as would I.
I'm so ready to start the next series. Game reviews.
We could start that at any point, but anyway. I play Roblox. Good. What game are you developing? Is the question.
It might be a game on Roblox.
Oh, apparently it's Gacha Online. Okay, fair enough. Oh, right, of course, the Gacha Online, the Roblox game. I played that, like, some time ago on the channel, actually.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
like a few years back. So, yeah, fair enough. That is also, in fact, amazing.
Gacha Online has
I'm
some
gonna-
pretty like neat assets to it that don't
Yeah.
exist in the games. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
actually considered trying to make a series out of it, but then I realized that there was no way for me to like get rid of, you know, all of the the other people in the shot. It's like clear the stage.
Well, technically, yes, you could make a private server. If that's an option.
I'm not proficient enough in Roblox to even know that was an option, so that was on me really. It's improved much more now. I love it's like you don't know how many years ago it was, but yes, I'm sure it has. You know what? It's in a future video we'll take another look. So, but for
Gacha
now, of course,
Online 5 years later.
actually, I think it has almost been. Has it been 5 years? It was a long time ago. Actually, whatever. We'll find out. Maybe. But for now, imperfect. Let's go. Without further ado, on with the review. Of course, we have the typical, you know, starting up with a character waking up in bed. And I don't think there's sound right now. There it is. Okay, fine.
Morning.
Alright, so we have a sound effect that happens before... Okay, so just I guess to save on like the visuals for that, you have the sound effect off screen. Okay, that's a good saving technique, I suppose.
I'd also like to say that was the sound of blankets, but she wasn't wearing any blankets. She didn't have any blankets on.
Well, no, if there are blankets on the bed, then her getting up would have made noise.
Yeah, but not that much noise.
Why not?
Yeah, that might be like this. I know that's the same sound effect that Aphmau uses to get dressed. So maybe she like sprung out of bed and got dressed immediately.
Yeah, no. If you have heavy blankets, it'll make a decent amount of noise.
Mm.
Now, my complaint is not that. My complaint is that I think I just heard the alarm clock stop before you paused it, but her hand has notably not stopped it.
In fact, could she even reach that far? Because that is a gigantic...
No, definitely not. She would have had... That's why I'm saying, like, she probably got up from the bed, but then that leads to the question, like she clearly hasn't made it to walk over there just yet, so...
Okay, well, we will see. We'll see what that's like. Before we move on from this image, I'm intrigued by, I guess, this is supposed to be a mirror. I would have probably had, like, some sort of, maybe possibly glass effect of some kind, but that's fine. Okay.
Already.
I don't know. Maybe it's a portal to the other
wrong.
end of the room.
Okay, so I guess you switched it off while the visuals. I'm noticing a lot of like you know visual saving techniques that are going on, which aren't bad in of itself, but you know you don't want to have too many of them, especially not right away.
Hello? Hey girl, courtyard. 750? I got something huge to spell.
I'm having it's great. It's the I think I'm gonna switch to screen share because that's the thing that's happened
Like,
a couple of times from
I will say, the sound effects are louder than the dialogue. And it's kind of hurting my ears.
Yeah, we have the opposite problem usually. Okay. So we're okay, we're gonna go off from there. Something to look into. I thought it was like a fluke from yesterday, but it seems like there's something else to address. Okay. All right. Time to fast forward a little bit. Okay. Somewhere about here.
Oh, hey girl, courtyard. 750? I got something huge to spell. Gotcha.
Okay. So, to talk about the voice acting to start off with, that line definitely needed a retake. Because I'm pretty sure it's meant to be, hey girl, courtyard 7:15, as in like, meet me in the courtyard at 7:15. But the way she said that was like, hey girl, courtyard. Like, it's almost like, hey girl, it's me, courtyard, your friend, courtyard, you know? It doesn't imply the same thing. That being said,
Also,
I do appreciate having the split screen, because that's one of my favorite effects that can be done in Gacha. So that I will always appreciate that one. But yeah. I would have maybe like aligned them like height-wise a little bit, because it seems like courtyard over here is a bit further down than the main character is.
Yeah.
Not Peachy presents, but not Peachy was not on screen for too long. Yep. A supernatural Emerson slice. Okay, I like all the marketing is going into the into the intro, I suppose. It's a different way of doing things.
If the intro is your marketing, then...
Hold on, why did the music cut out? Wait a minute. Why? Okay, now I'm thinking that maybe the trailer was made like a long time before this, like for the marketing, and then it got like stitched on. But the thing is, if you do that, you could just like cut out the audio, put the music back in, and have it still flow. That's how I would have done that. It reminds me of like when in Fallen Angels, where we get to, like the end of the end of the Let's Run Away song, and then suddenly you get like the title card of Angels going, name of the episode, and that's it. Like you're missing something out there.
We might be missing a few details. Huh, you wouldn't say.
Did someone say that in the chat? Is that what you mean? Hi, the name is Courtyard. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Courtyard.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad that I've swayed you over to subscribe. See, this is what you need. A good first impression. And people will subscribe to you. Whereas in this episode, I feel like maybe that I know that there's for visual saving techniques, I imagine I like to apply them in my stuff like later on if necessary, because for me at least, especially for the first episode of an entirely new series, the opening needs to be really strong in order to hook people in. This so far has been, you know, generic waking up of character. We do meet like the best friend a little before we usually would, so we've got a sense of like a little bit of a character interaction there, but nothing out of the ordinary. And now we just have someone, you know, going to school. Not so appealing as of yet, or nothing that we haven't seen before in some way.
Like, as somebody said to me once, you gotta put your best foot forward, girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe this is... I mean, we don't know what the height of this we don't know what their best foot forward is. We can only assume that this is their best foot forward, I think.
Well, I guess up until this point, yeah. If we start like cutting even more corners as the episode progresses, then that's probably not a good sign. But again, the fact that's a fear is not what you want to start off with one of these.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so nice to include the footstep sound effects, but I would have picked a different footstep sound effect, because that sounds like high heels on an echoey floor. We are outside right now, and she's wearing a flat version of some kind of flat shoe.
Yeah,
Now, spill it.
she's wearing dress flats. Why would you play a heel sound effect?
Yeah.
Well, I think the idea is because if you look at what she's stepping on, it's a harder surface.
It is a
Yes,
harder
but-
surface, but she's not. That still doesn't change the fact that she's not wearing high heels.
No, but it
Yeah,
would still make
okay,
that. It
based
would
on-
still make that noise on that surface if it weren't outside. The
Yeah, there we
outside
go.
is what changes it,
Yeah.
not the shoes.
So, I overheard the girls on my cheer team yesterday, and apparently there's some new girl coming to our school. Ugh. And she's totally like old friends with Rachel. And she's joining the team.
What do you
Okay, so
think,
one thing
Courtyard?
Yeah, well, I mean, that is Courtyard talking right now. So it seems like Rachel is somebody that's one thing I'm thinking of. Rachel's someone that they have like high esteem of in this school. Someone, or maybe not high esteem, but someone who is held in high regard, but they don't necessarily like themselves.
I hope Courtyard isn't referring to our main character when she says that.
Well, the way that she said that, it wasn't like it sounded like she was calling herself Courtyard. But here they are in the courtyard. Seemingly, that was what she meant.
Well, see, I
Really?
thought it sounded like she was referring to the main character as Courtyard.
Okay, you know
Like-
what? We're gonna rewind. We're gonna play the clip again. Right.
No, I'm just gonna say her name is Courtyard because I think it's funny.
Right, here we go.
Hello? Hey girl, Courtyard.
See? Hey girl, courtyard. As in, like, not hey girl, courtyard. Hey girl, I'm referring to you as girl. I'm referring to myself as courtyard.
7:50?
I know, but
I got something huge to
we
spell.
also
Oh yeah,
have
that's a
been-
good point. Hold on. Actually, well, now we're here. She says meet me at 7:15. It is 7 a.m. currently, which means she has 15 minutes to get herself ready for school and at school. That is cruel right there.
It is cruel, but not unusual.
team yesterday, and apparently there's some new girl coming to our school. Ugh. And she's totally like old friends with Rachel. And she's joining the team.
Really?
Yeah. She had a tour on school and got her schedule and uniform over the weekend.
I was going to talk about how she doesn't seem to be like moving too much. Like main character here hasn't reacted too much. It's mostly static without responding.
I almost prefer that.
But then I realized that she actually shuffled a little bit in between. Maybe that was like a looped screen record or something that had like a little bit of a glitch to it. Not really sure.
I almost prefer them being still because every time they move, it's a bit stunted.
Yeah, I suppose,
Yeah, it does feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
Like I would rather they stay as still as statues than stunted movement, you know.
I'm also noticing as well that that both of these characters have like an extra outline to them, almost like in I recognize this because in Fire Alpaca there's a thing that you can do where you can actually select the the background color to delete it, and what you can do is if you want an outline of something, you can expand the region by 1 to 3 pixels. And then if you do that, it leaves like an outline of the color that's based on. In this case, white. I did that for like yesterday's thumbnail for Music Freeze because that was a thing that happened with because Millie had a white outline around her, so I thought I'd give myself one as well.
Yeah,
in this case, we have a little bit of a thing here, which does mean that these characters, of course, like have been imported from somewhere. But based on the fact that they actually move, it either means that they are still images that have moving mouths that have been attached to them, which is an interesting idea, or they've been chroma keyed in such a way where there's like an outline that's there. But I'm not sure if the chroma key is ever that specific in editing software.
Well, it's interesting that you say specific because I didn't even notice this until you pointed it out. But now that I look at it, it's not a consistent double outline. Like, first off, ignoring the fact that one of her arms is completely covered by the outline, but also, like look at the hair, right? It's a very thin outline, or the handbag. But then you go to the arms.
Does trickle out for this part here.
But then you go to the arms, that's thick, or to the, I guess, like to the under boob down to like the rim of the skirt. It is a slightly large. In fact, you can even see where it grows, right? Because if you look at the breast and above, it's thin. Then you can see it extend towards that arm and keep going down.
It shouldn't be doing that because the way that that outline would work in an art program would be that it would be like whatever's bordering on the outside, and what you described as like outside the realm of like the hair. So that shouldn't be happening.
Well, I'm looking at it, so I don't know how it happened, but
I don't know either. And I'm wondering as well because usually like using like a white chroma key for something is a terrible idea, especially with someone like because they're wearing white clothing. So I do think it was art program, which I guess means that the person, for once in my life, I found a person who actually subscribes to my belief about lip syncing. You know, it's clearly being done in this instance to use the moving mouths, but that's been like imported separately. Potentially, actually, I would have. It's unfortunate that this says Gacha Club Series. I would have thought that like Gacha Life 2, that's what I did for the last Gacha Life 2 project, the Music Girl remake. That's what I did for the moving mouths there, just imported from Gacha Club. But it's interesting that means that there's someone supplied like an extra step there they probably did not need to do. Oh, I see. Well, or maybe not. Maybe they prefer not to risk chroma key. They just wanted to like go into to use like the pure colors without any sort of interference they might have gotten.
Like either that or this was in production before Gacha Life 2 came out and they just stuck with the Gacha Club for the rest of the episode. Because I noticed some of these like props from Gacha Club.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it does say voice of the Gacha Club series, so I imagine that if it was in production beforehand, they just stuck with it. They didn't try to, move mid-video, which I can understand. Apparently, Gusky loves the Gacha purse prop, so that's good to know.
Also, tiny nitpick, and I'm not sure it actually affects anything, but voice-acted Gacha Club series. I noticed this while you guys are talking. Why is there a ribbon in the title? Why is there just a singular ribbon?
Why is there a wand on the other side of Imperfect? Same reason, I guess.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, I've never been so much of a fan of those. because people don't realize that makes their thing harder to search because people can't type those out. I don't know.
Well,
Yes,
you can
today.
if you're on the phone.
That's true, but you need to remember also like what specific what specific thing it actually is in order to search that up properly. One of the things that I haven't quite understood as far as like YouTube titles go, probably not a recommended practice, but again, people, when they're doing things like this, they don't always consider that, or they think like, oh, I've seen other GutsTubers do this. This must mean something. It's like, not really.
I would assume this is still searchable though, because the majority of it is normal letters and stuff.
The majority of it, yeah, but it's just harder for the search algorithms to pick up.
Yeah, I will say, like, if you like, I have like searched this video up multiple times because for different reasons, to make the thumbnail or whatever, like that stuff. So yeah, it's not impossible. It's just, I mean, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
What? My daddy never told me anything about this. What else do you know about her?
I'm guessing that her dad is someone who works in the school faculty, probably the principal. It's Sissy. Hooray.
Are her parents loaded?
No clue. I'm just worried.
Still hate the fact that the sound effects are louder than everything else.
Yeah, that fire was definitely like drowned out a lot. It drowned out one of the character's first lines, actually.
That I'll get replaced by her.
Why does she keep just randomly smiling? That's the second time she's done that.
No, it's because now she's looking at this person who's just arrived, and I presume this is going to be her love interest, potentially.
Hey, babe.
Definitely a love interest with that kind of voice.
And with the wording, what do you, like... Oh, it's the voice that does it, not the fact they walked up and went, hey, babe.
How'd your game over the weekend go?
We lost
Okay.
it. It was
Can
totally...
I say this?
Yeah.
I kind of unironically really hate his voice.
Oh. What's the matter? You're not a fan? Oh, Ashley.
No, he's trying to do sultry, but it has a little bit of a high pitch to it.
That actually kind of makes sense for the character's age range. Like maybe he actually puts that on like himself in universe, but he hasn't quite gone through enough of puberty in order to account for that. Like, this is the voice the girls kind of like. I'm definitely gonna be like this, that.
That David dude's fault.
Brittany, we need you, girl.
Uh-oh. Well, I better...
Oh,
I love how lifeless that sounded. We need you, girl.
Brittany, we need you, girl.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I'm wondering if that's because like she's very close by, but yeah, I'm getting the impression that this voice cast was not directed very well.
Where are you going? See ya, Cher.
See ya. Good luck.
Okay, so the main character's name is Cher, and Courtyard's name is actually Brittany, but we're gonna ignore that.
So, are we still on for lunch?
Still gonna call it
Monday.
Courtyard.
Why did we just like zoom into her hand? What was that about? Hold on, no, wait, rewind.
See ya. Good luck. So, are we...
But what does that imply?
We panned
Okay,
down.
I think maybe what was meant to happen is they were supposed to be holding hands, but that evidently did not happen. But that's the only thing that I can begin to think of, because like the way her hand was positioned is like if you were holding your hand, and so it was kind of like slightly behind her, and I think that was the idea. But as you can tell, this dude has not moved an inch. In fact, he still has his arms crossed.
Yeah. He's still annoyed about losing his game.
Are we still on for lunch? It's Monday.
Sure.
Home.
Hold on, whoa.
Where did that person show
So,
up?
are we
Yeah,
still on for lunch?
wait a minute.
It's Monday.
Did they just
Okay.
spawn?
And
Yes, they did. They sure did.
she says the word Monday and she summons people.
Man, if Garfield had this power.
Join a cult, girl.
Sure.
All right, don't flake on me. You know I can't be caught dead sitting alone.
I think she meant to like, all right, don't flake on me.
I'm off to class. Catch you there.
Mm-hmm.
What'd she say?
I'm off to class, catch you there.
Okay.
Oh, there's someone with a cigarette, I guess. Better hope
And
that
someone
Yugi
just
shows up and
sticking out
throws it
their
away.
tongue.
Yep. I can start like lecturing him. It's like, ah, yes, and let me tell you about the benefits of tobacco products. Like, nah. You know what? So far, that's the best part of the video, the extras.
I don't know about that. An extra
Get off
randomly
me!
spawned in out of nowhere earlier, so.
Okay, that was clearly like a little bit of animation there because I saw the dislocated arm. Let's see. Yeah, if we can just like.
Off me!
Also, I think his leg is dislocated as well, and his like hand is face
Oh
palming
no,
downwards. I think.
his leg is not only dislocated, but as you look closer, you figure out the leg is actually animated on the wrong layer.
Oh yeah. I should have accounted for that because I just switched them around for back facing characters.
And I
the
like
arm
how
as
his
well
shoe.
is like it's the wrong angle, I think, because if one arm is going to impact the floor, the other one on the same side, you got to account for like the curvature of the floor as well.
I like how he's wearing a clown shoe, like a black clown shoe.
I was expecting cloud shoes to be much
They
larger
look
than
like
that.
jet black school shoes, which makes it awkward because one shoe blends into the other shoe and makes it look like he has hoofs.
Well,
It
no,
looks like
that's
one-
right.
it
It's
looks
so
like one
it's
like
so
black
big.
hole. It's like one black hole sock, I think.
Well, if it's a sock, then again, I have to question why is it so big?
Meanwhile, Fox is like, somebody should call an ambulance for that poor guy. This guy needs more than an ambulance. He needs a new animator.
Yeah, and probably a chiropractor as well while we're at it.
I'm so sorry. I really wasn't looking. Are you hurt?
You completely messed up my bag! It totally has a smudge because of you!
No, it doesn't.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Gosh, you're lousy at
I thought the guy was going to point that out, but no, I guess like. I guess
well,
they're
I
not
already-
gonna acknowledge that.
I already know where this is heading, so hey, mature stream, everybody, I guess.
vision and debate. I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this. Now let me walk in a straight line right where we know that you are.
The sound effects. Okay. The sound effects for the footsteps started before she started moving.
Not sure if that was like a thing on my end. Hold on.
You're lousy at vision and debate. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, it was roughly the same time. A little bit before.
Huh.
All right,
Weird.
class, let's settle down.
The lines fixed.
All right, class, let's settle
themselves.
down and may my head is not on here to save on lip animation, not distract anyone.
I noticed this a little bit earlier, and I'm seeing it still now. So we were talking about how weird, like how some of the lines, the outlines were bulbous. They aren't that way anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, been fixed.
this teacher's poses were clearly chopped out of a background. You can tell because the lines are a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Someone just
bit
took
jagged.
the wand tool and just.
It is a bit sloppy, but it's not like ginormous. And it's the same thing for the main character too. Actually, I think some of her lines are shorter too.
I said quiet! Thank you. Now I have an announcement. Class, please welcome Sophia.
Does she sound
She'll be
inhuman to
joined-
anyone else?
She sounds like she's got a bit of a choppy microphone, but not really inhuman necessarily.
Us this school year.
She
I
sounds
just
like
realized that. Sorry, go on. You first.
she sounds flat, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say inhuman.
Yeah, for the teacher, that kind of works in a sense. Like, it seems like this character would have a little bit of Then I might be thinking like Mr. Diaz from Phoenix Drop Days. Might be potentially why, is his whole thing. That was a joke, Mr. Rivera. Now go take a seat. But anyway, what I realized is that you know, some people do often noses they do like the shadow nose thing, so you have like implies the definition of it. The teachers not have that. So the teachers apparently does not have a nose, but everyone else in this universe does.
Hello.
All right, go have a seat next to Cher.
Who?
Go have a seat next to share before I figure out how to look at you.
Oh, right. The girl with the pink headband?
Oh no, that's AI.
That is a
That-
white headband with like a pink star in it. That's an
Wait,
AI
could you-
voice, you mean?
Go back.
Okay.
Go back for a second.
Oh, right. The girl with the pink headband?
The girl with the pink headband?
Yeah, it
The girl
Right,
with
it
the
definitely
pink
sounds
just
headband?
based on
weird.
like just based on how the rest of the characters speak and how they're not very well directed. You know what? We'll check. We'll see in the description if there's
What's the
anything in here.
teacher's name?
Not sure, but if there's any like names of characters that are called Miss something or Mrs.
There's
something.
not.
Okay, so we have.
I was already one step ahead of you. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Okay. Oh, so okay, this is interesting. So we don't have the names of the voice actors. We have the names of the actual characters, but they're just instead of that, you have like all the links without saying their actual name. Okay, that's one way of doing it, I suppose.
Oh no. Oh,
I guess
no.
let's put a pin on it until we know what this teacher's name is, and then we can look into the source.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we do
Let's
have
just-
links. We can definitely investigate that.
Yeah.
So, you're the new one.
Someone breathed
Mhm,
heavily
that's
into
me.
their microphone before recording their line and they kept it in?
Yeah.
The
I mean, if there were no retakes done, clearly whatever got sent in the first time was the definitive take.
cheerleader.
Okay, but
Yeah,
you could have cut a little bit of that though.
Yeah.
You
all
could
friends
have.
with the captain. Okay. Well, I'm sure, as you probably already know, basically the best at Starborn High for obvious reasons, of course.
Well, I am sure, as you probably already know, the best at Starlight. Again, everyone sounds somewhat robotic, but you
Well,
know,
no.
maybe
Here's
less.
the thing.
Maybe less in this case.
I don't know.
Also, as you probably already know, close to as you know, almost.
I don't know. I see what you're saying, but if you compare the teacher to the bad voice acting, I genuinely think there's a perceivable difference where some of them seem like they're just not great voice actors, maybe had bad directing, and the teacher sounds different in a very indescribable way.
The teacher is AI.
I'm going.
I guess
it
the-
definitely
I guess the-
sounds
the-
like it, but I'm going to.
I guess the
hold off on
indescribable
saying
way
it.
would be uncanny. You know, that's how we've
Right.
referred to that. I wouldn't go
Yeah,
text to
as
speech
I-
necessarily because text to speech is very different. That would be more obvious, but AI voice, that's plausible.
Yeah.
Like, I would say it's AI because I already pronounced that there was a pronunciation error that humans usually catch, but an AI wouldn't be able to.
Well, here's the thing.
I have had VAs, you know, misuse like emphasis of different words sometimes.
Here's my thing.
Like I had that be a thing.
I totally agree. It sounds weird. I also have a hunch that it's AI, but I have heard weird pronunciations before. I want to hold off until we have a name. I don't want to make an assumption before we do the research, but it definitely rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, and apparently most other people as well. Bro sounds like that one voice people use. Is the TikTok text to speech girl? I said quiet. I don't know.
That's nice. Hey, how did you get your uniform like that? It's so perfect.
But like what? There's no difference.
I get that a lot. Well, the normal uniforms were just totally not my style. So
What normal uniform? You're wearing the same thing. Has she got like a different part of the uniform that we haven't seen before? Like it looks
Yeah,
the same.
she has short sleeves. The normal female uniform has long sleeves.
Oh, I guess.
Oh, I thought she just rolled them up or something, but fair enough.
I tailored mine. They let you do that? Oh, of course not. But as the principal's daughter, I get
Sure,
what
it's
I
your
want.
turn to present.
There we go. So it is. So she's a principal's daughter. I thought so.
Oh, yes, of course.
Ah, yes, of course.
As I said, it's very stunted animation. I said at the very start, it's a bit awkward.
Hey,
It's just the
Hey,
pacing is slightly off.
hey, Jacob, remember that prediction from earlier?
I
wait,
don't.
which one?
Ghost Kitty, which one?
Ghost Kitty says, "Listen closely."
So probably the naughtier one then.
Okay. Okay,
Unless you've done the principal's daughter
credit.
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
going. We see her. There's like, it feels like there's actual depth to the classroom. It feels like there's actual distance, and she's not just walking across the screen, right? She's in between the desks, and I think that kind of makes it a bit more believable. So I'm gonna give credit there.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of people don't focus on so much on like the foreground versus the background.
Except it feels like everyone's staring at the board, except she's walking to a place that's not the board.
Well, everyone
That's true.
except for
At
this
least-
person closest to the screen.
Yeah, at least some
Yeah,
of
he's
them would
not
probably
looking
follow
at
along.
anything.
Yeah.
Why did the teacher wait? Hold on. Go back a
What?
couple frames.
Okay.
Okay, pause. I can't help but notice a couple random capitalizations that are a little bit larger than the rest of everything.
I suppose, but that's
That's a
more
that's a
realistic to,
large
like,
T.
handwriting. That's kind of realistic to some people's handwriting. That feels more real to me, to be perfectly honest. Also, we have a name for the teacher now, Miss C.
Miss C. Also, weirdly enough, not capitalized at all, but
I think those are meant to be capital letters. They're just smaller.
Okay, is there anyone with the C last name in the credits?
I'm looking for it. Yeah. C. Williams, Storks, Griffin, Bims, Peterson, Warren, Taylor, Fatal. Nope.
Great.
So that's worrying.
Fully voice acted. Remember, fully voice acted. We got an entire cast and we did the marketing and everything.
Here's the thing. If you want to... I am less willing to hold off on my judgments now, because now it kind of looks like they're trying to hide something. Because it's like you have everyone else, but not the one teacher who apparently most people, because chat seems to agree by the resounding, that it definitely sounds wonky.
You thought that
Yeah,
could
it's-
slip, you thought you could slip that by us. Well, we're not deaf and blind.
Okay,
We
I
can
need
hear
you to
I mean,
stop
even
talking.
if we were blind, that would still not matter.
Ghosty,
It's
I
not
need
being
to-
deaf parts that really affects things.
I love the idea of Ghosty being the one who's like, yeah, you thought you could slip past us? Sitting there with a big Luigi hat that's not fitting on the hat, on the head correctly, and put in the wrong username to come in here. You are the most
You thought that you were
non-threatening
past
presence
us.
in the space right now.
Like, that's the
But no,
purpose.
a Luigi can identify AI voices.
Like,
A Luigi has already tested on you.
like I was about to say, do you want me to be intimidating? Because I can take the hat off.
Well, it doesn't help that your name's also wrong.
Can you do an intimidating Luigi voice? That's the real question.
Oh, that's a cool exercise. Can you?
No, I can't.
Okay. Well, see, here's my thing. I can't even, like, if you hear Mario and Luigi, they definitely sound different, but I cannot make an impression that discerns the two. I don't know how to separate the two myself.
It's all to do with the pitching, really.
Yeah, Luigi is higher pitch than Mario.
Oh no, I would say the other way around. Mario is definitely more high pitched than Mario is. Mario for a lot of people is like in the falsetto range. Like Mario's all the way up here, basically. And then the
feel like
Luigi's
it's
down
a-
in this range.
I would agree that Luigi's probably deeper, but I think your Mario is a bit higher pitched than actual Mario is. I think he sounds
fair enough. Something around this range then.
a little bit. Yeah.
That sounds like N64 Mario, and I'm living for it.
It's still Mario.
Yeah.
It is a Mario. There's a lot of Marios.
That's
I think that was one of the first Charles Martinet Mario games, actually.
Oh, here's something that you can complain about, Jacob.
Yeah.
Mr.
The paper being stuck to a hand is part of it, but yeah.
Well, no. See, because you like to brag about how in your Gacha stuff, in particular
Yeah.
Mutant Girl, you made it so that way we have an actual lesson. Because a lot of Gacha stuff tends to ignore that. So
That's true.
not only are they ignoring it, But they aren't even skipping past it. You see the lesson, you just don't hear the lesson.
Yeah, one of the things as well I was going to mention, I forgot about this when we talked about Mario and Luigi, is that not only is there an issue in the Gacha community of skipping actual lessons in series that are set inside of a school, but also teachers end up getting a lot of like almost disrespect by the creators. Like almost, it's like they are so unimportant despite the fact that, you know, they're integral to the setting that you have chosen for your story. Because so for example, there was like I think I was in this video, but there was like a video that I watched that's years and years ago, one of the first like Gacha voice acted projects, and every character was voiced except for the teacher. They were all subtitled, but the teacher was the only one who didn't have like an actual voice attached to the lines. And I was like, why is that the case? Like, oh well, it's just the teacher, you know. But I don't want to like bother casting somebody. It's like, you have an entire team of people, just have someone do a different voice and use that voice. How difficult is that to do? So yeah, I guess I think it was also, in all fairness, one of those people who doesn't like to cast people as multiple roles for the sake of fairness, I suppose. I mean, that's one way to view it, but I don't know. But it still was very telling that the teacher was the one that was chosen as the unimportant character because of that.
The teacher gets a straight up disrespectful AI voice.
Yeah, so there's a chance here that if the same mentality applies all these years later, that the creator of this, that not Peachy decided to that the teacher was not worth casting, and so it's like, oh well, you know, I won't bother with this. I'll just get an AI voice because I don't need the proper emotions. Just the teacher, she can be monotone as she wants. Of course, it won't matter. It matters.
And that's my presentation on why dogs are simply better than cats.
I wish we heard about the dogs being than cats, but okay.
Sure.
I will say, kudos again, appropriate levels of clapping from a class that is uninterested in presentations. If you want the proper applause from a class of presentations, you got to give them the pizzazz. Check it for me.
Actually, cats are better, but whatever you say.
Well, David, this
What?
assignment was a debatable speech paper. This was my speech based on my opinion about the topic of my choice.
Okay, but you just said it was a debatable speech paper, right? This is the
Okay.
debate part, isn't it?
A few things, I think. Okay. One thing, and I think he said whatever you say, but it did sound like what are you say?
I heard like whate'er you say, like it's almost like a Shakespearean version of that. Whate'er thou sayest.
He does look like a kid that'd be in a Shakespeare play, but he does give that energy. But
All right.
But also, I would dare to say there is some inconsistent writing at this point, where at the end of it she goes, and that's why dogs are simply better than cats or whatever, right? In a very matter of fact. And now she's here, slant a little bit like over his desk, like, it's my opinion. It's like, well, what happened to the objective view?
Well, she just said it was her paper based on her opinion.
No, I know. What
Yeah,
I'm
how-
saying is
how
that
are you
her
supposed to-
paper ended in a way that painted it in an objective light, whereas now she's painting it in a subjective way.
I suppose, yeah. That's come down to, I guess, a little bit of phrasing. Gosuke also checked in the comments if there's nothing creative about Jesus' voice, and that's at the very bottom, which implies that somebody might have been policing some of the top comments on there. You know what? You know what? Let's do an experiment. I'm going to ask if the teacher's voice was AI. And if that comment gets ignored, that's one thing. If the comment gets deleted, that's a whole other matter. Let's see. Out of curiosity, is the teacher's voice AI?
Or just ask
I
who voices the
didn't
teacher.
see a voice credit for a Miss C. All right, I guess now now we shall proceed. Because yeah, I guess
No, we shall proceed.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we circle back to that at the end of
So,
the video.
unless
see
you'd
the
like to join
status
the
on it.
debate.
Well, I mean, it might not happen in this video, but if it gets ignored, that's one thing. It's just like one comment, a sea of many. But if it gets deleted, that's another matter.
Seem to debate it out more. I suggest keeping your opinion to yourself.
But he was willing to debate it. That's why he rose his hand and said so.
Like,
That was
I
awesome.
will happily debate. Dogs are a high stimulation pet, and if you're someone like me who doesn't like loud noises and enclosed spaces, a dog might not be a good pet for you. Also, dog smell.
Dogs activate my parental instincts, which I noticed actually works for stuffies as well. Because I never used to fold. I never used to like put my. I used to never make my bed in the morning. Whenever I was still living at the other place, but now that I live here and I have all of my stuffies here, and I keep them on my bed. Like I actively make my bed specifically like tuck them in and everything, and that's a thing that I only noticed a few days after I started doing it. I was like, oh hey, I do this now, and that's just a thing that I feel compelled to do.
BB wants to be
there
a
you go.
parent confirmed.
Genuinely, I would like a daughter one day, but I know that I can't handle a kid in any form right now.
Yeah.
Except for animals. I'm quite good with animals. Again, dogs. They were the only reason I ever got out of bed for a good while.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
aligning
because
to
they kick you out of it.
Yes,
Elaine-
kind of
So,
actually. But
I know.
like it is a debate speech, and he was going to debate you, and then you just walked away saying, "Oh, you have no room to debate because it was my opinion."
well,
What kind of a high and mighty?
I
was
would
about
say
to
that-
say a
Okay,
swear
the character
word.
being high and mighty makes sense.
That
This
is
all about like a spoiled
sure.
brat being humbled. That makes sense for this character. And that's one thing we can give this video that, you know, it's an angle that's not often tackled, at least nowadays. The spoiled brat trope was a long time ago in Gacha, but it's rare nowadays. However, yeah, in this case, you know, you still have to apply like a little bit of logic to that, I think. Where it's like, well, I mean, you can't just shut someone down for that reason. It could be high and mighty about it, but at least like put some effort into it, you know?
No, I will say this bit I don't critique on the writing necessarily. The objective and subjective that I critique the writing for, but this bit I don't necessarily critique it for. But I will say it is quite funny that she's like, oh, it's my opinion. You don't have room to debate it, because I would argue that that an opinion is the single most debatable thing on the planet, actually.
Well, yeah, of course, because you can't debate facts. They're facts.
Yes.
And even then,
Anyway,
dogs aren't the best pet for everyone. As I said, I struggle with overstimulation, and a dog would just be a too overstimulating pet for me. That
Yeah,
is my
that-
opinion.
I
There we
think
go,
cats
yeah,
are kind of intense too, especially younger ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
younger
but which
cats
one
are
is
intense,
which one
but
is
they-
more intense than the other? That would be the thing to bring up in the presentation. Because we are comparing dogs to cats. You can say in isolation they're both high stimulus and they both require attention. But which one requires more? Which one is higher stimulus? Which one will affect you the most in that situation? It's again
Like-
what we were saying before. Would you rather?
I'd say that cats are like cats when they're younger are quite needy, but cats as they get older are quite independent animals.
Well, in my experience, I would say that they stay needy their whole lives. I would say that the amount of energy they exude is more in their younger days than older, though.
Okay.
Which is a
So
fair
now
point.
back to what I was so that's what I was going to say here, because this is a good time to bring up something that I actually been meaning to mention for this entire video. I'm just going to quickly rewind to emphasize that.
That was awesome.
Okay. So there is a practice that I'm aware of that where you want to sometimes start off like cut something off. It's like a J cut in video editing. So it's meant to be like a much more like fluid thing, so it doesn't like jar. It's not like a jarring jump cut every time something moves. And I can understand that. The thing is that J cuts have to be very, very like small and precise, because here you have like it's like a tiny like difference here. Imagine like there's the video, the audio timeline, and they'd be synced up here. A J cut would form like a J image like this, but you don't want a J image like this. There's a huge difference between those two things. And that's what we've got here. Ryan George is a good example of this, by the way. If you ever want to know why pitch meeting feels like it's two different people talking, it's because Ryan George actually starts the next person talking a little bit sooner for most of those situations. So because we've been like screenwriter guy and forgot the name of the other person now, producer guy. Yeah. So it goes back and forth between them, but again, it's like a very minor thing that I only noticed once they brought it up in the 200 pitch meeting special, I think it was. But it's there. You just don't think about it, and that's what you need to do is not think about it. You don't want it to be like obvious all the time, like it is here.
I know.
Or alternatively, just skip that altogether and just don't show the last bits of dialogue that you wanted for the episode. Ah, yes, the bell rings. Let's film the floor.
Let's film the floor shake. Why was the floor shaking?
Oh,
The bell is so potent, you see.
Here's the thing, actually. I would have forgiven.
cotton stress.
I would have forgiven them for that had they not zoomed out to show them walking. Because if I would have seen the floor initially, I would have actually stayed there so that we can see their feet shuffle out.
Yeah, then again, we've already seen a bunch of like feet shuffling angles. That seems to be like the favorite, angle. Not since Quentin Tarantino have I seen so many foot angles in a project.
Like, I'd also like to say a thing to where that guy's head seems smaller than the girl he's standing next to.
It also seems like he's looking towards the camera almost. He's like an extra that like has just started acting. It's like, oh.
I will also point out that the purse is in her arm.
Oh yeah, it's like digging into her shoulder. Oh no. I know there's an upper limit in Gacha Club to how far you can like pull up a prop, but if the upper limit is that, I would have just probably done it like separately, quite honestly.
Honestly, you could have cut off the arm and then
amputate it.
It's like you could have cut off the arm in Gacha Club itself and moved the purse up in
The
post-processing.
problem is that if you cut off the arm, the prop is linked to the arm, so it would disappear as well.
No, I'm gonna put the prop on a green screen, desegregate the arm from the body, and then move the purse individually so it's not in her shoulder. It's also below the collar of her shirt.
That's you would think that the collar would be like on the outside, but I guess if she I was gonna say if she like shoved it across, but like how would she have done that physically? No, it would be over the top. You're right.
Wait, cheer.
Oh my.
Hi there. Hey, can we just go back slightly for a second?
Oh no! Yeah.
I have a way to make that seem smooth.
All right. Yeah. So do I.
Cheer.
God dang it! We had the same idea.
Imagine having your purse in your arm. Oh.
I have a way to make it sound smooth. So do I. Both of us make bone-breaking noises.
I know we said break the arm. We weren't being literal about it.
She's about to desegregate that arm. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Also, could you go back to her holding Cher's arm for a moment?
Okay.
If you
I hate it.
Not that. Go back just a little bit.
Okay.
She grabs Cher's hand, and then there's a frame. No, go forward. Aside from the bone breakage.
Yeah.
What are we looking for here, Ghosty? I think you've noticed something that I have not.
I'm waiting for Jacob to go forward.
That's the last of it.
I mean, there's that horror show. Are you talking about that? Because I know we noticed that a little bit.
I was gonna say, it's the front-facing arm, but flipped around in green screen.
You know what I really
and then
appreciate?
Stuck back on.
What I really appreciate, if you go back, you can see that she was grabbing the hand, and see, and it broke. But then you go back to the other horror show just then, and they moved it. They did move things, but they did not fix. They did not fix it though. which
Like,
is
it makes
even
it-
more impressive. The fact that in between these two shots, that they clearly changed something, but at no point during this process did they see this arm and say, "Uh-oh."
I think I know what happened. I think this was filmed first, and then when it came time to making that particular visual, they just used the arms themselves. They zoomed in so you wouldn't have to like deal with the other characters and parts of them. So you so that way you have like one arm coming from one side and the other two arms coming from the other on different layers, and you have to worry about the rest of the character. Because actually, if we go back again,
Is the arm
okay,
as a
so
whole
just like
backwards?
this is beneath the character's hair. On top of that, you see like on that bookshelf, it's lined up differently to like the line where the bookshelf is. That'd be where her hair is bisecting, but in here, it's actually the arms are not even only further up, but the head is just straight up missing entirely.
I will also say, and it might just be because of the broken arm, but is the arm as a whole backwards? Like not just the elbow and below, but
Yes, I
like
said-
is it all the way up from the shoulder? Did they
Yes,
like
I said
invert
that.
it?
The arm
I thought the
as-
shoulder was.
No, the arm as a whole is backwards.
I would have thought like the sleeve actually is pointing downwards. I would have thought that would be the forward-facing sleeve portion, and then the shoulder portion, and then like the actual forearm has been twisted.
It looks like they tried to Frankenpose it and did a horrible job.
Most interestingly, actually, the purse is still going through the arm, but it's actually closer to the way it should look now than it did before.
I just came to say hi and heard break the arm. What is happening? Amputate it. At this point, that'd be a mercy to her.
Hey, chat, can we get a chant going? Saying amputate the arm.
Amputate the arm. Amputate
Take
the arm.
Amputate the arm.
Oh no.
Could you, show me where the art room is?
How about I show you instead?
Sure, Jackson,
I think the sultry voice has been like toned down a bit now.
right? Your presentation was great.
Allow me to keep talking to you when our lips don't have to move.
I know what I read about Brittany, and the guys on the team totally agree. I mean, why else would she be
I
wearing
do
an
kind
eye
of
patch?
okay.
You boy.
You were talking about how the voice, how the Jacob's noticed something that I have not, and I'm concerned to hear what he has to say here in a second. But
Gonna rewind. There you go.
but you were talking about how the sound effects are louder than the voices. I gotta tell you, I kind of wish the voices were quieter. It feels like they're closer to their mic than they should be. Right? Like it sounds like they're kind of talking a bit more like this, like you can hear their like individual breaths a little bit more than you should, and it kind of sounds normal, but at the same time it feels like they are closer to your ear than they should be, as opposed to something like this where it's a bit more relaxed.
Also, KW is asking what she came into. This is final break. We're not even halfway through the episode yet, and we've already seen a lot of errors in what little animation is apparent. Layering issues.
This is the video that's been taking the community by storm for the past first half of the week.
Like, there's animation layering issues, but there's also just issues of things looking atomically incorrect.
Yeah.
Also, check it. This guy's head is smaller than her head, and they're approximately the same height.
Yeah. It was like someone forgot to adjust all of the characters to the same degree, or that's potentially how they're going to imply body types in this world.
I don't
Don't we
like
know?
it.
Anyway, it's now time for the line that I wanted to point out.
Totally agree. I mean, why else would she be wearing an eye patch?
Is there someone
What?
else who shares my disdain for eye patches?
You boys believe anything. You're such an airhead, Brandon.
Share, back me up over here.
Okay,
He's on
again,
a
weird line delivery, but
Yeah.
But shenanigans again. Talking about how he thinks that student.
oh my god, the purse is
Talking
getting
about,
worse.
you know,
The purse
Yeah.
is, oh my god, how? Every shot is awful.
the purse is getting worse, but also the voice acting. Oh, it's one of his stupid shenanigans. Anyway, tell me about
Oh
this.
my god, wait. Oh my god, wait. No, she's looking. Look at the way she's facing. Oh my god, wait. She's like an owl. She's facing them, but also not.
That's a common thing in Gacha, actually. That type of head rotation is par for the course.
Student
I hate it,
council
though.
Clara girl is some supernatural. It's unbelievably stupid.
Then
Oh yeah, I forgot supernaturals exist in this world. Maybe Cher's a supernatural. Too.
what's the eye patch for?
Maybe she
Supernatural's
Yeah, this was a supernatural series, as described by the intro.
Yeah,
I
she
know,
actually
shocking that
is
we
just an
couldn't
owl
tell.
person.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
her.
I almost forgot by how deceptively normal everyone looks.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Hello
I
there,
have
courtyard.
it.
It's me, bird person.
Her eye.
Wait, supernatural.
So
Oh,
Victor,
okay.
And then they
okay,
turn her the
okay.
right way. Why didn't you start her out like this?
That's a good point.
Also-
She shouldn't have been posing like that, actually, considering that she just arrived. She should have been facing them body-wise anyway. That's a good point. But also now, could I just point out, like, they went into, like, an
Her
argument thing.
eye.
That's how you argue with someone? Like, come on, this is the chance that one of my favorite things about early My Street is the fact that when characters have to argue, the voice actors are allowed to go to town and just start, like, I don't know, making stuff up but make sense for their characters, and you hear them overlapping with each other. You can let the voice actors do that, and then if you don't want to like talk, like have like arguments, all that there's in the background sometimes. Because yeah, like
I
to skip
did
out an
a
argument that's going to be like
similar
drowned out
thing
is
for
somewhat
another
egregious. But
thing
come
one
on.
time is that when two characters were arguing, it's just the dialogue bit descended into static as we got closer to the main character's face, as in she hears it, but she's not completely paying attention.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, at this point, you can't start off
She
with
looks
silence if you want to fade.
constipated.
Fading into static is one thing. Starting off with silence is another altogether. You know, at least I would take like a rah, 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 or something like that. Anything at all.
And also, yes, Melissa, you did hear Clara. It sounded. I noticed that earlier. It sounds like they almost tried doing the British pronunciation, but then decided not to.
Clara girl.
Right? Because you hear like a
Girl, how are you?
well, kind of like Clara, right? Which you can kind of hear a W-esque noise there, but then they said it in the American accent, so it ended up being Clawa, or well,
Clawa.
Claw. It's weird because it was like, I don't know, it's two syllables, but the second syllable starts at the wrong point.
And Melissa's
Oh, whoops, hold on. There we go. What I meant to put on the screen. She looks constipated.
she does look kind of constipated.
Maybe that's why she keeps turning
She
her body
just-
away, because she's like wants to leave and go to the loo and relieve herself. Some of these characters pulling a Darsh
Her
needs
friends are arguing about
emphasize.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's true. If anyone wants to get that joke, watch the Last Fallen Angels review.
Wait, supernatural?
Right? It's so
Now that's what you heard.
stupid.
The topic about supernatural and paranormal activities has been brought up in my debate club rather often.
I mean, it's been brought up in your debate community.
Don't tell me you're actually
See, now
believing this
that would
guy,
be a
Cher.
fun debate. Like talking about like different supernatural concepts across the world and be like, which ones sound the most valid? Any of them? Are they all absurd? You believe any of them? I feel like that could be a fun like topic.
And you can read all about it in my new book, Bigfoot, True or Real.
Hey, also, you know, how there's two emojis in like the title?
Yeah.
I just looked up the video on its own in like my own browser, and since it doesn't, you know, since it isn't emoji compatible, both of the emojis just turned into squares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yes.
I've seen that too. There's a Discord server. My 2.0's miraculous Discord server. I can't read anything that's in there. It's just all squares.
It's just all squares.
Yeah. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
Well, I could check the library for books about it, but it'll have to cost you.
The library's off limits until farther notice, remember?
Remember the big
Whoa.
fire, I guess, that was definitely supernatural induced?
And again, weird pronunciation, not just emphasis, pronunciation, right? It sounded like a mix between father and farther, and neither of which were the word that they were trying to say.
At
They were
least we
trying
know
to say
this person's
further.
at least we know this person's a human.
That's fair.
Daddy wouldn't have a problem with lending me the key.
Fine.
Also,
what
I'd
do you
like
want?
to point out, because the mouths are green screened in, they have a different outline color than the mouths on the characters.
Hmm.
So sometimes it looks like they're just Scooby-Dooing it with the mouths.
Oh yeah, I think they probably picked like one specific set of mouths and used them for everyone.
Just all of
yeah.
your allowance from this week.
What? For what?
Do we have a deal or not?
Fine.
Just wait till the library is... Where did she suddenly get glasses?
Well, her nose is gone now, so clearly the creator thinks that that glasses equals no need for a nose anymore.
I think the phase came a little bit too late. I think they swiped the kid too old to be like imperceptibly swapped out.
Oh, okay, now she just moonwalks away.
Jesus Christ, that is a changeling.
Also, Melissa's like, the glasses spawn egg.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? Like they got a changeling and they got some of the details wrong, but because it's not like a freshly born baby, it's very obvious.
You've been struck by a new glasses girl.
And then it's not like the glasses despawned after she started moonwalking backwards. They stayed on her face.
Oh,
If it was
how?
like she had glasses for like half a scene, and I bet they're gonna be gone by the time the next scene begins.
Yeah.
Man.
Or they're going to be stuck on the entire video and we're just going to have to gaslight ourselves thinking she had them all along.
No way I just gave away my allowance. She's got pretty privileges.
Or the worst of all of these worlds. Some scenes she has them and some scenes she doesn't.
Stop your whining. It's Cher. What do you expect?
Come in.
Also, you can tell that that's it.
Okay, again, weird voice.
Well, okay. Well, we know that Cher's last name is Williams, and this is her father because it's the principal's daughter. So let's see.
Well,
There's definitely
there is
a
no one-
Williams,
there's-
but it's a Clara Williams.
There is no one else that's yeah.
Yeah,
No, this is Cher Williams. I don't know where you're seeing Clara Williams from.
Oh, sorry. It must have been because they just said Clara.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So apparently none of the faculty are worthy of casting. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, almost because all of the faculty don't sound like they're voiced by humans.
No, I mean, that's why they're not worthy of casting. Therefore, they do not sound like humans because of that, yeah.
Hello, Father.
Why the long face? What's wrong?
No, okay,
Well,
you guys have heard.
okay.
I've heard this voice
Yeah,
before,
wow,
right?
long face? What's
No,
wrong?
I've heard this voice before. This is the dude in all the shorts that they use. This is literally the AI voice. I swear, you guys have heard in the YouTube shorts, right?
yes, this is the AI Shorts deep voice dude.
Right?
I
I've
think
heard
someone else
him.
that they recognize. Ghostky said that she recognized the teacher's AI voice too. So I think what happened is that somebody that didn't go like on an AI voice website or something. They literally just went onto YouTube Shorts, typed stuff in, and then had it read out to them, and then recorded that. That might be what actually happened. So you couldn't even go to an AI voice website to try and
I
like
don't know
skirt
if you
around
can do that on YouTube Shorts. Is that a thing you can do?
Well, if you make an unlisted shorts with the AI voice already attached to it, I feel like that's probably viable.
No, right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't think you get, like, I think you still have to go to a different site and grab that voice for the short.
Why couldn't you just download
You
the
couldn't-
video clip,
no,
separate
you-
it from the video, put it into convert it into audio file, and then import that into the video?
You theoretically could, but I feel like it'd be a lot harder work to do that than just get
No,
the lines through the
actually,
site.
no, you can't get the lines through the site unless you have a YouTube Premium membership, which allows you to download every short and video that you want.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I'm sure this is a voice that all the shorts are getting that all the shorts are getting this voice from, right? So I imagine it'd be easier to grab this voice, type in the words that you want to say, it shoves them out, you take that, as opposed to you going out and trying to find the shorts and then like Frankenstein those together, right? Because it'd be
That's
hard to find the
also-
right lines.
That's also not what we're talking about.
Well, we are to a certain extent. It's just more of like, okay, how exactly did this voice get acquired? So, because we're thinking that, okay, the voice must come from the shorts themselves. Like, there's some way in YouTube Shorts to make someone say something. Because we're voice actors, we wouldn't think to do that anyway, so we haven't looked into it. However, what BB's suggesting is that instead of doing that, what everyone when in YouTube Shorts does is use an AI voice that's not used by YouTube themselves, but is commonly selected from a well-known AI voice site of some description.
Yeah.
Which is why it would have ended up in this video, regardless of whether it appears in Shorts or not. So depending on which one of those is true, is how the method would have been.
It's just that I need a book about rockets for my science project, and I have no access to the library.
Have you heard of the internet?
And I surely can't go to any local library. It's far too long of a walk for me.
I suppose I could use the internet, but...
Well, why didn't you just say so? I can't have my share fail now, could I?
He couldn't have his
Just don't let any...
what fail?
His share. That's her name, Share.
But he
Also,
said it
I
is...
like how the key was like magnetically splattered into her hand.
Also, he said,
Well, now, could I?
I can't let my share fail. Replay that.
Just
line,
don't let-
please.
Alright, okay.
Far too long of a walk for me.
Well, why didn't you just say so? I can't have my share fail now, could I?
Yeah, it does sound a bit like Sheer, but yeah.
I couldn't have my share fail now, could I?
Just don't let anyone see. It's our little secret.
Very
Oh.
much appreciated,
Oh, I
Daddy.
hate that. Oh, I hate all of this.
The thing with like air voice too is that it's difficult to like in just like pauses. Because you think there have been like, don't let anyone see, it's our little secret. Like a little bit of a pause between. But no, don't let anyone see, it's our little secret.
Like, you obviously can't get that sort of inflection because a robot is delivering these lines, which makes the lack of inflection awkward next to
Yeah.
a human voice actor.
Yeah, well, even for this cast that weren't directed to save their lives,
Here's-
even for them, this is obvious.
No, here's the thing. We have watched a lot of things. Thankfully, not all the things we've seen have had AI in them, but a lot of things we have seen have had very poor voice acting. Now, here's the deal. We complain about it, and that is a big thing at the end of like where we tell our thoughts, right? And we're always like, oh, well, could use some work, right? What I will always say, I think, is you will always get complaints about that, but it will always be less egregious than the AI voice, because you can always tell a difference between smooth, buttery AI and a bad voice actor. But the fact of the matter is that one of those is discernibly not human and therefore is going to look worse.
Yeah, and also the types of like bad voice actors. I hesitate sometimes to say like a voice actor is bad unless they really stand out.
That's
in
why I'm
some
saying
way.
bad voice acting. It's the act of the voice acting.
Yeah,
Not necessarily the voice actor of themselves. They can improve, but the fact of the matter is what they've produced is not good.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, I guess, depending on like how this how the script was distributed, there are some directors out there that will just give you your lines with no added context whatsoever, and you just have to assume. So if you're not getting direction from them specifically, that's even worse.
I do
But
agree. Yeah,
obviously-
it is a slippery slope that we can't discern, unfortunately, whenever we're doing these reviews. But yes, whenever we say something is bad voice acting or bad delivery, there is a equal chance that it's not even the voice actor's fault and it's just the director.
Yeah, it is usually the director. Sometimes some voice actors don't take direction and they get too possessive of what they do, but that's, you know, another thing. That's less frequent.
Almost too.
I like how they actually do have like layers of footsteps when there's more than one person walking rather than just one, because some people forget that.
Easy.
Yeah, almost too easy. Now be sure to
Giant
not stay
mouth.
there. Yeah, be sure to not like show it off in the middle of the hallway for no reason.
Oh.
And also be sure to make sure that to not have your character shuffle in place and not have the key shuffle. You know, got a little bit of this. A little bit of that going on.
So, Jacob, you may not get this reference. You might, but it might be too deep of a cut for Undertale for you to understand. But if you do, I think you'll see where I'm going with this. Go see. You will probably know about it. Said, this kind of looks like onion sand, doesn't it?
I actually think I know Onion Son, yeah.
It's definitely right, Ghosty. It's definitely onion sand. That's the mouth size. It's...
Yeah, because well, I mean, okay, in all fairness, opening doors is one of the hardest things to do in Gacha ever. So, you know what? That's fine. Have I ever had a character, like, physically open a door on screen yet? I don't think I have.
Also, she drags her foot in, but we still have the heel clicking sound effect.
Okay, I do. Okay, I
Just don't
forgive it. I do forgive that in this instance. Again, I think because of the hardness of the floor, the clicking is fair. I think the first time it happened, whenever it's outside, doesn't work as well because it's outside and therefore the acoustics are different. But in a building like this, I think that's fair.
No, I didn't mean the clicking. I mean, she just kind of walks in the door, but there's multiple clicking. She walked in the door once, but yet there were multiple heel click sound effects.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so yeah,
see.
we saw it take a step. Well, I mean, a lot of the sound effects happen off screen in this video, particularly.
It's so creepy and dusty in here.
Like I says, band on the side. It's like, oh yes, I'm librarian band. Have you met my relative's courtyard?
Let me
It's
hurry
so
up and
creepy
find this
and dusty
stupid.
in here. She says like it's some ancient library, dude. It's just books. Calm down.
That's
The-
your
the-
school
The
library.
library has been sealed many years ago.
I'll tell you what the
Books I can
creepiest thing about this whole thing is. If you go, actually, you'll probably see it here in a second, so you don't even have to go back. But the monitor, it's bent a little bit. The stand that it's on is bent a bit back.
Let's
Get
see.
out of here.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's been twisted some way.
which I think is probably a gotcha thing, but it still looks weird nonetheless.
I've not seen that that monitor prop anywhere in Gacha yet, so I think that might be like a custom thing.
Okay, I assume that's probably just part of the
potentially.
background.
How
Yeah.
many teens do you know who still refer to their dad as daddy?
So here's the
hello
thing.
there, lady.
I don't know very many, but I do know I know some, and that's not even really the biggest issue. I think it's that paired with the "it's our little secret" thing. I think it's the pairing of the two that makes
Yeah.
that very weird.
It also makes sense for Cher to use daddy, because I think a lot of especially like spoiled children will try to use like mummy and daddy specifically, because like that conveys the image of, you know, I'm your little girl, little boy, little whatever, you know, so I will you know, so it's associate that with me and then, you know, give me what I want. It actually is like a bit of a tactic.
Soak it in, Cher. That's the first time you've ever seen books.
Oh, okay. Fantasy, supernatural. I like how the stories are categorized, because I've seen these bookshelves before, but I've never seen like the actual bits in between them.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so
So-
that part's new.
Well, not just, but the fact that the fantasy and supernatural section is different than the rest, and the way that it's empty, and the fact that we know that this is a supernatural series.
Yeah, that's because that is a new thing as well, because you can tell like the outlines are different, and you don't have like the have like the black like crease or crevice in between them either. So that part wasn't translated over. So instead of like having the bookshelves and like erasing them from inside, this has been built from the ground up. But that does have like actual mod implications that are probably going to be addressed right now, considering that she is looking for supernatural books. That's going to come up in the show.
Yeah.
Huh. Completely empty. That's kind of weird.
Let me see something. Completely empty. I gotta give it like a second to react first.
Weird. The shelf used to be stacked.
What do you...
Yeah,
wait, so you have been in here before?
Well, I mean, we heard the library was sealed. We didn't hear why or when it was sealed, so it is plausible for the students to have been in here before something happened.
Well, yeah, but whenever she came in, her reaction seemed very out of place. Like, oh, it's so old and dusty in here. It's creepy. It's like, really?
Yeah, I question that line more than this. Also, I think that's about like thick or something.
Huh. What's this?
What's this? Let me use my magnet powers again to pick it up.
I'm just gonna say this, and maybe this is me putting more thought into the series than the creator did. But I think it's very interesting that she sees this weird, probably supernatural gym right in front of the horror section.
Yeah, the spooky section.
Well, I don't care. Guess Brandon won't be getting his book today.
You know something? I will also say the music in this I kind of appreciate, because the music, at least, unlike the sound effects, is relatively low key, and it cuts out most of the time when it's appropriate to do so. And now it's a new track where something like it has a little bit more mystery to it, but not so much that it becomes too ominous if you transition out of it into something else, like we're about to do probably.
I'm so out of here.
Or not. Maybe it fades away immediately. Never mind. I take it back.
Banned books? Banned books.
Ah, yes. The stack of books that are banned is right in front of the desk.
Like,
okay,
sometimes it feels like, yeah, these people are human beings, but sometimes it feels like they are robots made to convey the plot and they have no other purpose.
Well, some of them are robots made to convey the plot.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if that was the twist, like the entire school has just been like, the faculty has been replaced by mindless automatons, and the students have to like uncover that conspiracy. Can we get a high school story about that, please? That should be a thing. That could be a good video game, actually. Anyway, so apparently all the fantasy books have been like taken off the shelves, but only 4 banned books have been left in the library.
It's just a ton of fantasy.
Subscribe.
Yeah, that truly is a fantasy after what we've seen here.
With superheroes and magic and kitty things like that. Why is it banned?
You know, I think it's not. I guess she doesn't know about the politics behind books, which is, yeah, a lot of them are banned for really silly reasons.
Yeah, this could have been a case of like, some like PTA member complained or something.
Yeah.
For instance, The Catcher in the Rye in my school was banned. No reason, it was just banned.
I think Lord of the Rings got banned from our school, if I recall.
I heard that like the most banned book series in America is Captain Underpants. Can't verify that because I started reading that series when I was already in the UK, but
sure.
that's what I've that one at least makes sense to me in some way.
I remember Captain Underpants being present, but I don't know at what point it would have been starting getting banned.
Okay.
My school didn't ban Captain Underpants because that would have been a riot in the streets.
It was very tragic, actually, because our faculty, in particular the librarian, by the way, I hated our high school librarian, for the record. Whenever I say this, I want there to be complete clarity. I didn't like her. But this bit, I did kind of enjoy from her, because they banned these books, and she actually got like a bunch of posters to hang around the school, like, hey, these books are banned. You can't read them here. And on the first day that year, she had like a whole PSA where she was like, hey, email the people at like the school board and all that, and make your voices heard to get these books back out to us, right? And I think that's great. I'm all for not censoring things. That's great.
I honestly thought what you were going to say was that there was what was that the librarian just every now and then was like, okay, I'm sorry I can't say this book, but hey, if you want, I got that book in the back store. Bring it out for you, but don't tell the teachers.
No.
Honestly, you know what? Actually, another idea for like a high school show, banned book club.
That could be
There used to
good.
be a thing of like, so like like imagine that scenario, you could even like time like a romance story if you wanted to, like the typical meet cute things, like, oh wait a minute, these two people they bond over like their favorite book series, but oh wait, it gets banned, so they have to band together themselves, and but like form and run the club together, and will things happen along the way or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, I actually really like that. I think that was cool. It was like, yeah, we should. Problem, most of the people in my school don't read, and I'm pretty sure are illiterate, and they made their voices heard out loud in that very moment, which is that they don't care in the slightest. And it's like, oh god dang it, guys, this is worse than you. Like, we can't allow a precedent of books being banned. This is awful.
Yeah, on the other hand, it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you need to make your voices heard, but then if someone does make their voice heard and they disagree with you, then that is a risk that is going to happen potentially.
It is. It's just very tragic, I think, to see like books be banned. We have a thing where it's like, hey, they're banning these, and because they think you can't handle it or it's inappropriate or whatever. Make your voice heard, and then you just get people like, I don't care about reading. It's fine. It's like, I know you guys are like incapable of thinking of wider consequences, which is a thing that I am aware of. Just these people were, because I was in school with them. But it's like that's a big deal if we let books get banned.
I mean, you say like you let books get banned as if there's like, I guess it was like a recent thing, like all these.
It
books
was,
banned,
yes,
like,
yeah. A lot of these books a lot of these books had gone banned over the summer or something.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say like a lot of book bannings, I imagine, happen over the process of like decades, depending on.
Oh yeah, no, they can just happen in a moment's notice.
All right. Oh, there's the purse. And it's not synced up, so I'm hoping this is not share in the foreground, otherwise that's going to be a mistake. It is share. Gosh darn it. Okay. At least, one of Aiden's favorite things, of favorite visual ideas, someone carrying a tray of food. That's at least some... You can see some bits where they're like, okay, I need to put a bit more effort into this thing here. That being said, I can see where they cut the corners, i.e., they've given everyone the exact same formation of food.
Man, this
Hey boys,
speaking of cutting
how's
corners,
it going?
this is the most grade school, American grade school accurate meal in the world. Can you keep going so we can see it again?
Better.
Okay. This is very accurate, I think. A tiny carton of milk that really bugs me because if you open those, there's like the bits of paper are actually still like hanging around. So you have to just ignore swallowing a bit of paper on those. You have a tiny bit of pudding, which is okay. You have like the thinnest pizza-shaped slices of watermelon, and only 2, and I bet you they're only allowed 2. And a little bit of either diarrhea or mold. Maybe algae.
Okay, this is not what I was getting at. What I was getting at was that it is the exact same combination of things in the exact same formation, because it's just copy-pasted. You would think at least, even if they do offer only these things, and they don't let you choose your meals for whatever it is, there's not like an option of anything. Even if that is the case, you would think that the different students would put things in different parts of the tray, as different human beings that they are. But no, they've done it like this.
Yes, but I'm speaking like from an in-universe perspective, though, which I'm saying, yeah, this is probably an accurate tray.
I'm also saying from a production standpoint, why is the tray so flat? It looks like they have nondescript green goop, nondescript brown goop, milk, and 2 slices of watermelon that are flatter than a piece of paper.
Well, if you want to talk about it being flat, I want to raise an even more serious question, which is it's slanted in a way that is meant to show depth perception when the rest of the world is flat. So it feels contradictory to each other.
I think the table is also at an incline, so technically speaking, the trays and the contents on top of them should slide off onto the floor with this formation. That being said, this is the same table that seems to be like over the top of the chair, because the chair on the bottom here is blending into the table.
That's a point. What's going on down here? There's like 6 legs.
But you're here.
I think that's meant to be like the back of the chair itself.
Julian, she, number 1, literally has a boyfriend. And number 2, we were fine without her.
Yeah, so much for her boyfriend. He's totally into that new Sophia girl.
What are you talking about, Julian?
Turn around.
What are you talking?
See for yourself, princess.
Turn around? How dare you? I can only turn my head and then parts of my body sometimes. You know I have a condition called owlitis. I'm gonna refuse to turn around on principle because I can't be bothered to animate that.
Little does she know if she actually turned around, she's gonna see her boyfriend like making out with Sophia.
Yeah.
Hold my bag.
Oh no, not your precious bag. What will you ever do without your bag that teleports onto the table because it wasn't being held there?
Oh, are we supposed to believe that she did turn on?
Yeah, see, now she can leave it somewhere. It doesn't have to be attached to her at all times. Why did you do that before? Then again, it does seem like layering of like props to characters specifically has been a bit of a sore spot for this video, because if you remember from like the piece of paper that's used in the presentation, it was stuck to the back of her hand rather than being attached to the front.
There was
and
also...
that is an issue in Gacha Club, because on the left hand you can actually do that where the prop will appear in front of you, but on the back hand or the right hand, the prop will usually appear behind, and that's a common thing. But then again, it can be fixed if you go through some of the motions. But then again, you could also just have used like the other hand in order to like do that visual, and that would have also solved the problem. But anyway.
Jackson, I missed you, babe.
I think I'm out of sync. Hold on.
Jackson, I missed you.
Oh no, I'm not out of sync. I forgot this video has a whole issue with J-cuts. Again.
That in this video has dialogueless dialogue.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind, you are not watching this through StreamYard. This is YouTube.
Well, yeah. But
so it's probably not out of sync.
You, babe. I thought we agreed we were supposed to have lunch together.
Maybe another time, Sheer. I'm helping Sophia out with something.
I mean, you could always sit on the table with her. There's plenty of space for everyone.
She's really new and all, so she really needs help.
She's really new and also she needs a lot of help.
We always eat together on Mondays. What do you mean another time? You can't just break the pattern because, no offense, but a klutzy new girl. I have a reputation to maintain.
I'd like us as a klutzy new girl, so she had like any reason to think she's klutzy whatsoever. Also, this gives me like on Wednesdays we wear pink energy, so I, like a bit of a deal there.
He kind of looks like JD. He gives me JD energy.
JD from what? What are we talking about?
Heathers.
Oh, okay. Something else I was going to mention. Oh yes. This kind of gives the same energy as you know, a couple that have to like schedule them eating together. Sort of is like an idea of like, you know, how there's a stereotype of like certain married couples scheduling their intimate hours, maybe because like some like counselor told them to, or because that's just, you know, that's just what they seem to have like virtually agreed upon. It's like, oh, it's Saturday, time for, you know, Devil's Tango, whatever. But and there's like a microcosm of that. It's like, oh, it's Monday, time for our scheduled sit down meal together as boyfriend and girlfriend. So it does seem like one person is really trying to keep the relationship afloat and the other one isn't, implicitly. And now we see explicitly that, yeah, he just does not care, it seems.
Like, either that, or he thinks the tradition is dumb because he hangs out with her the rest of the time. Why does Monday lunch matter so much?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? The two of them did even walk to the same class together. Even though she said she would catch him there. What else was he doing apart from like brooding for a bit in the middle of the courtyard?
Chill
Also-
out. It's not.
Also, perhaps this trope is a bit old, but the arm's messed up again. The left one is detached from the upper, like it's not on the elbow.
What?
Nope, that's just how the pose looks.
Yeah, no, that's just the thing. Gotcha. Yeah.
Not that
no,
serious.
wait, it is up too high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up too high, but the arms have like looked like that with the outline.
We need together tomorrow. I have a reputation to maintain just like you. So stop being entitled to me all
Don't make me raise my voice. I have a reputation. How dare you put all this pressure on me?
the time.
Fine! Just for the record, the only reason you have a reputation is because of me! Cher, wait!
Who is saying share weight? Was it the new girl? Oh no, it was Courtyard. Where have you been this whole episode, Courtyard?
Oh, hey,
Come on.
Courtyard.
Yeah.
That's Courtyard's brother / biological twin with a smaller head for some reason. Is that just how they distinguish boys from girls in this series?
I'm not sure. You have to look at the other characters to really determine that. Oh, I thought she was gonna cross in front of this guy, but never mind.
Nice leg shot, man.
Told you so.
Dude, shut up.
Who said anything? Who was
Also,
talking?
Mops McFlops came in late.
Mops,
What's
yeah.
the plot?
We don't know yet.
Yeah,
Apparently,
the video was almost over and we have no idea what's happening.
so Spoiled Brat's supposed to get humbled, potentially by a new girl, but the new girl hasn't really like interacted with her much as of yet, apart from like in class once, and that was actually quite amiable. Also, supernaturals apparently might be a thing, and it seems like there's been like a huge like ban of the entire genre of fantasy supernatural books. In the library. The library's been sealed, and there are 4 fantasy books that have been were not banned, and she checked one of them, determined that the book she was looking for was not among the pile, even though it could have been one of the other 3, and then left immediately. And now we have the issue with her boyfriend. Apparently she's got relationship problems. So there you go.
And now her friend Courtyard is chasing after her.
Yeah.
Can you believe that jerkface?
Can you believe that reflection?
I mean, he knows we always sit together on Mondays, but he chooses some random new girl who literally just got here today over me!
I will say, going back to Shakespeare again, ironically, soliloquies, a common trope. Okay, so he's having a soliloquy right now, a bit of like a thing just right to the audience, whatever. But usually in those situations, you don't have a person saying like, can you believe it? Like addressing the audience directly, being like, can you believe this, audience? I mean, the Prince of Cumberland. That's a step in which I must fall down so elite for my way it lies. I gotta get rid of the princes if I'm going to become king myself and murder Duncan. I mean, am I right? It's like you don't get that.
Yeah, you're onto something there, Macbeth.
I bet the crowd would be like, "No, don't do it." I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, Macbeth. Woo! Murder that old man.
Oh man, he was my cousin. How old am I? Anyway.
She's not even pretty!
Cher,
I'm the pretty one! Who could be better than me?
Listen to me! I have
The best
something
bit of
I
voice
need to
acting
say.
in the entire video.
Yeah.
Something big. I was planning to tell you earlier, but I
I'm lesbian.
couldn't.
I'm in love
I'm
with you.
pregnant. Oh, we went 2 different directions there, but okay.
What?
I caught Sophia and Jackson kissing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, that is the most projected piece of voice acting, but I still prefer the share listen to me thing. And oh my.
What the heck was that? Is that
These
you?
are kinda cool there.
I can't animate myself crying, so watch my 2 knees being smushed together. I'm
will
gonna
say,
cry.
I do, okay. So here's the thing. So 2 things. First off, her hair's phasing through her arm, but also, so it's interesting that you mentioned the legs. So This isn't the first Gacha series that's done that, right? We don't usually bring it up because it's not too clean. But the fact that you do bring it up here, I have to mention. I think the intent is because if you're wearing a skirt and you're laying and you're like sitting right, normally you'll like have your legs kind of like tilted towards each other, or you'll have them crossed so that way no one can like peek under or whatever. And that tends to carry over into Gacha where they will continue to do that. But here's the problem. I get the idea, but women don't fall like that. Knees are not naturally tilted that way. It's a purposeful tilt, so that way no one can peek. They don't just naturally slant.
Yeah, then again, if we don't want that anime trope to be present in here.
Everything was just shaking and stuff was moving.
I'm supposed to be perfect.
I do like how we've clarified that is like an actual thing that's like happening in universe. There wasn't like an abstract visual.
I'm not supposed to be cheated on.
Could you please keep it down? I can't write.
Why are you writing in the bathroom? Get out of here, whoever you
Hey,
are.
okay, if they're writing, I'm glad they're at least using like a Sharpie or something. That's better than I've seen other people write with in a restroom.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're like writing like on the walls of the stalls or something, or whether they, I mean, like on paper.
In the bathroom, you psycho!
I wouldn't mind having that title, but I think you're the psycher.
What are you talking
The psycher? What? What on earth is a psycher?
about?
I'm not implying anything, but what?
Look at my knees! That's the most important thing to show off in this visual, right? Courtyard's knees.
Man.
The one person not involved in this discussion.
I know you're talking about feet shots earlier, but I have to say this might be Dan Schneider's knee equivalent.
The equivalent.
Just happened wasn't normal.
You're not saying what I think you are, right?
I'm not, but I'm 99% sure that all that floating was caused by you.
Floating? What do you mean? We
That
focused
was
the
not-
shot on the sink that was attached to the wall.
No
if there
one-
were things that were floating around, you showed the floating things, because that's the supernatural part.
No, I would say that the floating should be the least of your concern, because if what we saw is the abject reality of this world. She didn't just float, supposedly. She made reality itself distort into a shade of colors that separate from each other in a mirroring fashion. That's
At least
much
like
more
around
concerning.
herself. At least around herself. I don't think all of reality shifted that way, but at least for these two.
I'm fine, Brittany. Just go away.
Just go away, leaves herself.
Wait. She
dropped that. She didn't pick that up earlier. She left it in the library.
Yeah, we saw her explicitly put it back down, freak out, and then run out, which is why she found the banned books that had not apparently been shipped or whatever. Read that,
I know
and then
that
put that down as well. She took none of this with her.
Yeah, I know that her hands are magnets, but I mean that's a little bit much.
What's this?
So was there like only one draft of the script or something, and then they just never went back to look at it, or?
One draft of the script, one take for the voice actors, and one preliminary editing phase, apparently. Oh boy.
And maybe 1 week to find voice actors, and what they couldn't fill, they just went to AI for.
I get it. If you want to use the AI tools inherent to your editing software to save time. After all, that's what you paid for the software for. Even if it was a later edition you didn't want. Thank you, Filmo Wondershare. But at least don't make it obvious.
I will say, I did used to have a note app called something. I'm not gonna give it a shout out here, but and I used it for a little bit, and then I went back to it because I remembered it very recently, and I was like, oh, cool, you have a partnership with a ChatGPT-esque program. Well, goodbye, I guess. That was fun. It's like, well,
okay.
I feel like a lot of sources are fine without it.
I mean, the thing that I imagine is that you don't have to use those things. It's kind of like Grammarly, for example. You know, they didn't have.
Yeah, but the
they didn't start with
traffic still
partnerships.
promotes it.
Okay, I'd still emphasize that you don't have to use these things. I mean, if you yourself use the app and you're not actually using the AI features, then okay, whatever.
Like,
Do you think the gem, if someone teleported itself into a pocket, I mean, it is magic, I suppose, but then why did it fall out of her pocket afterwards?
Yeah. But no, my point is, like, you know, whenever you have a good thing going, you don't have to, like, ruin it, you know?
It's just everything this, like, first episode, every good thing is just immediately eviscerated in the next scene. Something good happens, and then something terrible happens in quick succession, which ultimately makes it a moot point.
Including, apparently, eyesight, where suddenly you can see, in the next scene you need glasses.
Yep. It not even in the scene that you like had the character reading a book feature the glasses again.
That's true, it's not even reading glasses.
The title is the best way to define the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought that might be the case. I had high hopes for this, honestly. Because, you know, like again, 3 separate people sent me this video without talking to each other. That rarely happens with Gacha reviews. You normally get like one person DM me, but like, okay, here's this thing. Maybe a second one saying the same thing, maybe at a length, but 3, and one of them being Aiden as well. Like, this made so many strides, and I guess, you know, probably was, you know, promoted to perfection in some sort of way. And I imagine has like a substantial Discord server attached to it for the production. That's also a huge part of how Voice of the Gacha series do their marketing. What that also means, there were plenty of people to choose from if he wanted to have like actual characters to direct. But if that is the case, the AI voices are most likely born out of an idea of not wanting to do of not wanting to direct more people the same way they didn't like have multiple takes of different lines. So the voice acting was almost like a means to an end in some way. Which makes it, which leaves like even more of a sour taste in my mouth, to be perfectly honest. Because there's somebody who's like, I don't want to deal with the people, but I also want the benefits of the people.
Like, it would,
yeah,
if this was the 100% 100% AI voice acted Gacha series, you know, because we watched an episode of that and it turned out about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah.
At least they went falsely advertising that all of, you know, their characters were what they weren't.
It seems like like Not Peachy realizes that there's the marketing appeal of voice-acted gacha series, especially like the way that, you know, they will promote themselves even before they start because people are interested in like new voice-acted gacha projects, especially if they have like minor bits of like of interesting visuals attached to them and custom backgrounds and everything. You know, like that's a tale as old as time at this point in gacha. But because of that, you know, it seems like, okay, well, I mean, you know, I want this just for the marketing purposes. It's almost like, okay, it's like you don't say want to like use the voice actors because they actually like enhance the story or something. You just want to use like the idea of voice acting, and that might not be the case, but it definitely feels like that, especially when paired up with the voice act with the characters that you didn't even bother to actually have a casting for, when there's presumably a full server chock full of people who would want to be a part of this, and were not given the chance because of that. So yeah, I had high hopes for this video because of all the things I mentioned before, and because some people seem to think like, oh, okay, you know, there's some elements that are like interesting in here, and yeah, there are a few like minor details here and there, as Ghosty mentioned, do make me consider some things like, okay, well, I mean, the fact we clowned on the cafeteria as such, but making a cafeteria that's actually functional in Gacha is actually a surprisingly difficult thing to pull off. So that there was like even any attempt in the first place was something. It was not necessarily the best, but it was something. That's how I could describe a lot of the like enhancements in here. Like, for example, the edited bookshelf we mentioned earlier. You know, the ones that created from scratch to emulate the visual of the Gacha bookshelf game before. You know, that's definitely something right there. But again, it's something that could have been like improved upon on top of that.
Ghost Kitty is like, so Wish's boyfriend. So was that Wish's boyfriend was cheating on her with the new girl?
I feel like so many of your guys' predictions were correct.
That's
what
because
was I saying yesterday?
That's because the first episode is quite literally play by numbers. We've seen this before. It just has a new title.
Oh, also, actually, speaking of like the opening, because we mentioned like episode 1 having some sort of like huge they have I need to set up like a good first impression with the first scene, and we did say we're going to come back to the idea of like whether or not things actually improved going forward. Considering just how many like leg shots we actually got, it does seem like more corners were cut throughout the rest of the video, which does mean that yeah, to some extent, you know, the best foot forward was partially in the first scene. So. So in hindsight, good grief, that was I'll take that over some of the rest of that stuff. That's like 2 things I recommend.
Can we get the leg cut? I think we'd get better content out of just the leg cut.
I don't know about that because the legs took me out of it quite a lot.
Yeah, because like I would say, if there were some shots where we focused on another character's reaction to what the characters were saying, instead of the legs of the character who was talking, I would have liked it more.
Yeah.
But no, we
also
just get a bunch of leg cuts.
Yeah. And way too long J cuts as well. Again, the idea to put J cuts in is inspired to a certain extent. But just, again, it's all about like the execution of it.
Like, so many predictions we made were right because this episode was so cliche.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
like we have things of supernaturals in this show, and yet we have one supernatural event and a little bit of intrigue as far as like what the rest of the world thinks of them and how they become like invisible or whatever.
This was 99.1% cliches.
Well, what I thought could have been cool, and this was my initial thought, and I know this has happened before and other stuff, and I forget an exact example. I'm sure you guys can think of names that I'm blanking on now, where you see all the books gone from fantasy. I thought that was really intriguing when I first saw it, because my first instinct was like, okay, has reality been altered in some way? It's like if someone's name was like forgotten, and so now no one can like remember, like the ending of like the last Spider-Man movie, for instance, right, where it's like things are there, but there's like a little bit of incontinuity, right? There's a bit missing, and I would have really been intrigued by seeing what could have been wiped away, you know, and uncovering what has been hidden in this reality.
Yeah.
But no, I don't get my cool little my little supernatural dreams and Gacha series.
No, we had to focus on you know the terrible relationship and like the I guess the boyfriend cheating and such. I would like one thing I'll give credit to this video for. I like the lead character. I like Cher, like what was going on with her, because she has like actual defined personality. This is what we were saying. I think yesterday about the difference between you know, unlikable characters that you actually do like versus unlikable characters that you despise. Kind of like, you know, the Millie versus Xander debate for music freaks, basically. Yeah. Cher's definitely more of a Millie in that regard, because she has the charisma, she has the charm to pull off her unlikable traits and be an entertaining person to watch. And we do understand that she's most likely to grow as a person from this experience, most likely because having her supernatural powers tied to like such heavy emotions is probably not going to be beneficial for her in the long run as well. So there is that idea. So I'm intrigued as far as like the stuff to do with like the main character, which is great for which is what you want for the story, ultimately speaking. But it's all the rest of the stuff like surrounds it that is just raises one too many questions and one too many critiques from me. So yeah,
this makes me want to like go sit down. Like, unlike Adam Code Purple, the original Adam Code Purple, not Ghost Kitties. I want to go sit down after watching this. But unlike Adam Code Purple, which made me want to sit down and make me rethink my life decisions, this just makes me want to go stare at a wall.
Hey, you get more humanity out of the wall.
I'd get more entertainment out of the wall. At least the wall won't be like, oh, this is a fully voice acted series, and then present me with AI.
Well, you could talk to the wall and it might echo a little bit though, and then you can have like an actual conversation.
No, you could do what Cher did in that last scene and talk to your reflection and just happen to realize that your best friend was behind you the whole time. This reminds me of a random Sporebrat character on Gacha Life 2 who was also a superhero. Again, a nice combination. Somebody who is very self-centered but also does things for the benefit of others. You know, there's a lot of potential there at least. And this series, again, it does have a lot of potential, but the thing is, because of the way it's being mishandled right now, it is absolutely not living up to it. And because of that, it remains, for as a time being, imperfect.
Oh, speaking of, before we end this episode, can we loop back around to the comment you left at the start of the stream?
Oh yeah, let's see. Did it get flagged or anything?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I have to. I'm gonna refresh the page and see if that does anything. Let's see.
No, it's still there.
Well, yeah, it might not have been seen. It was only an hour ago, so I don't know.
Oh,
well, sure. But like what I'm saying is, it's not because in YouTube you can set up like keywords that'll make it just automatically go poof, which seems to not be the case in this instance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have noticed that Not Peachy doesn't tend to think things through very substantially. Well, there you go.
Which kind of begs the question why no one else in the comments has brought up the...
According to Ghost Kitty, there's some comments towards the bottom that have brought it up.
Okay.
I mean, then again, some people maybe just didn't bother checking the credits.
That's fair,
Not really sure.
Well, we checked the credits, and they're definitely not there.
I have a little bio for that brat character named Bella if you guys want to hear it. Okay, quickly, because we are about to, I was trying to, like, you know, do a segue out of the stream.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
Okay, here we go. Bella Brooks was born on August 3rd, you mean August 3rd, 2009. To the wealthy Brooks family in Crescent Bay. As far as she can recall, she's always been a model, but how much matters that now with her new job as a hero? Okay, doesn't seem like too much of a spoiled brat trope there, but I mean, maybe that's because she's developed an ego as a result of all the time as a model. That's something that can happen. Like I said before, one of my favorite like classic gacha videos was Beauty is Pain, at least the first half of it. And that was all about, you know, of like someone who had been a model since she was 5, and then there's time to get forward when she's 15. You know.
I will say, whenever you said like a brat that's like a hero though, I was picturing like early comics like Iron Man, where he was doing hero stuff, but what the MCU changed that the comics had was in the comics he was not a good person. Like he was an abusive alcoholic that was doing superhero stuff, not because he was a good person, but because he was celebrated. Right? It was the classic. Yeah. It was a very, very early example that we didn't have the words to necessarily describe at the time, but it's what we now consider like the debate of like nice and good guy, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I was picturing.
Okay then. So yeah, who knows? I mean, this is not really a superhero thing, but again, as far as like how our supernatural stuff will progress, hopefully it will tie a little bit more to her personal growth as things go along. But haven't got my hopes up given how this has gone so far. Again, episode 1's got to give you a good first impression, not just the first scene, but overall. And unfortunately, this one didn't. So we'll see what happens in the future. But for now, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. Subscribe to us already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.